Hey Cowboys fans, hope you're all doing well today. We've got some big news to break, and it's not exactly what you want to hear as the season kicks off. Cooper Beebe, one of the key pieces on the offensive line, is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Now, of course, injuries are never good news, but in some ways this might create opportunities for other players on the roster. Reports suggest he's likely headed to injured reserve, which opens a spot for Jadeveon Clowney to return to the lineup without the team having to make a difficult roster cut. The hope, at least according to insiders, is that his absence might be closer to 6 weeks rather than stretching all the way to 8. But either way, it's going to shake things up for the Cowboys in the coming games. Stepping in for Beebe at center is Brock Hoffman, who got some first action late in the previous game. He had a small bobble with Dak Prescott on one snap, but it's his first real look this season, so some growing pains are expected. The Cowboys will be leaning on him as they navigate the next several games. And while it's not ideal to lose a starting lineman, it's an opportunity for some other pieces to step up and prove their value. Now, shifting gears to the game itself, the matchup against the Giants was nothing short of wild. This was one of those games where the momentum swung back and forth constantly, and it kept everyone on the edge of their seats until the very last second. Both teams traded leads multiple times in the final minutes, with the Giants managing to march down the field with no timeouts, covering nearly 70 yards in just 3 plays to snatch the lead. But the Cowboys weren't done. With timeouts remaining, they orchestrated a drive that set up Brandon Aubrey for a 64-yard field goal to force overtime. And overtime itself was tense, almost like neither team wanted to win right away. Eventually, the Cowboys capitalized on an interception, moving into position for Aubrey to knock through the game-winning field goal as the clock hit 0. Looking at the offense, there are some promising signs despite a few hiccups early on. Over the first 2 games, the Cowboys have shown flashes of competence and cohesion, which is encouraging considering the turnover and injury concerns. Last week against the Eagles, there was a fumble for Miles Sanders, and this week Dak Prescott threw an interception, but overall the offense has been serviceable. CeeDee Lamb had a bounce-back performance, going over 100 yards again and hauling in 9 catches on 11 targets, with only 1 drop late in the game. Jake Ferguson also made some crucial receptions, and George Pickens contributed significantly when the team went to him early in the game. Javonte Williams nearly hit 100 yards rushing, averaging over 5 yards per carry. The offense still has areas to clean up, but considering the injuries and adjustments, they've been performing solidly enough to stay in contention. The injuries are definitely a concern, though. Cavonte Turpin and Cooper Beebe's absences will put pressure on the offensive line and receiving depth, and it remains to be seen how the Cowboys will manage these gaps over the next several weeks. But for now, the offense has been doing enough to keep games competitive and even pull off dramatic finishes, which is a positive takeaway. On the flip side, the secondary is raising some serious red flags. Against the Giants, it was clear that the defensive backs were struggling in coverage, giving up significant yardage and big plays throughout the game. Russell Wilson threw for a career-high 450 yards, exploiting coverage mismatches and putting constant pressure on the Cowboys' defense. Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker, and Kyler Elam all had rough outings, with Hooker giving up a 52-yard bomb and Donovan Wilson allowing a 48-yard touchdown, despite redeeming himself with a late interception in overtime. The secondary simply did not look cohesive, and this is something the Cowboys need to address quickly if they want to maintain any hope of contending in the NFC. Meanwhile, there are some bright spots on the defensive line. Kenny Clark has made an immediate impact, bolstering the interior after Maisie Smith's contributions over the last couple of seasons were underwhelming. Clark's presence has helped contain the run more effectively, limiting opponents like the Giants and even holding the Eagles in check in critical situations. The addition of Clark has already made a tangible difference, and it's the kind of upgrade that can stabilize a defense when other areas, like the secondary, are struggling. And of course, we have to talk about Brandon Aubrey. The man is just extraordinary. His leg has been almost flawless, making long-range kicks that many NFL kickers would shy away from. Against the Giants, he drilled a 64-yard field goal to send the game into overtime, and then came back with a 46-yard game winner. His consistency from 40 to 49 yards is remarkable, and even his attempt beyond 50 yards are impressive. With a kicker like Aubrey, the Cowboys have a reliable weapon that can turn tight games in their favor, and having that kind of confidence in the kicking game is invaluable, especially in high-pressure situations. Looking ahead, the next 5 games on the schedule could be favorable for the Cowboys. There's a real chance to string together wins and build momentum despite the early season jitters and injuries. Games against teams like the Bears, Jets, and Panthers appear winnable, while the Packers matchup might be the only one that poses a serious challenge. Even the Commanders could go either way, depending on how the Cowboys execute on both sides of the ball. If they capitalize on these upcoming opportunities, it could set a positive tone for the rest of the season, even with the roster challenges they currently face. Continuing on, let's dive a little deeper into what we've seen from this Cowboys team so far. One of the most interesting things to watch is how the offense is evolving under pressure. Dak Prescott has had some ups and downs, but it's clear that he's finding ways to keep the offense moving even when the defense is bringing heat. The chemistry with his top receivers, especially CD Lamb, is starting to show real promise. Lamb's ability to make contested catches and get open in critical moments has been a huge boost, and having someone like Jake Ferguson step up in key situations adds another layer to the passing game. George Pickens has had his moments as well, particularly on early drives, showing that the team can rely on multiple weapons when needed. The running game, led by Javonte Williams, has been solid enough to complement the passing attack, giving the Cowboys balance and making it harder for defenses to key in on just one aspect of the offense. The injuries to Beebe and Turpin complicate things, of course, but the resilience of this group is encouraging. They've shown that they can adapt on the fly and still put together scoring drives when it matters most, and that's a big reason why they've stayed competitive in these tight matchups. Now, the secondary is an area that really can't be ignored. While the defensive line and front seven have made strides, the backfield has struggled to contain opposing quarterbacks, and this was most evident against the Giants. Coverage breakdowns, missed assignments, and overall communication issues have led to some big plays that opponents have capitalized on. Trayvon Diggs and Malik Hooker, despite their talent, have been beat in man coverage more than once, and Kyler Elam has been targeted heavily, allowing multiple receptions that extended drives and ultimately led to points. Even Donovan Wilson, who has shown flashes of playmaking ability, has been caught in tough situations where big gains were given up. If the Cowboys want to be a true contender, this secondary needs urgent attention, whether that comes from adjustments in scheme, rotations, or potentially getting healthier personnel back on the field. It's a problem that can't linger for long. On a positive note, the defensive line is starting to look much stronger than it did in past seasons. Kenny Clark's presence has been a game changer. The interior of the line is much more disruptive, and this has helped contain both the run and pressure quarterbacks into making hurried decisions. Even against mobile quarterbacks or well-coordinated passing attacks, the Cowboys have been able to generate pressure up the middle and collapse pockets, which takes a lot of weight off the secondary. The addition of Clark, alongside the efforts of Micah Parsons and others, has improved the front considerably. In situations where the line can dominate, the secondary struggles are slightly mitigated, but it's clear that the backfield still needs to find consistency to truly complement what's happening up front. Special teams, of course, remain a huge strength for Dallas, and Brandon Aubrey continues to be a difference maker. His ability to hit long field goals under pressure consistently and accurately is almost unmatched. It's one thing to make a 64-yard kick in a controlled environment, but to do it in the final moments of a game, to send it to overtime, shows a level of poise and confidence that is rare in the NFL. Following that with another clutch field goal in overtime just underscores how critical he is to this team's success. Having a kicker who can reliably convert in high-stakes situations not only adds points, but also affects how the offense approaches the field and manages late-game scenarios. You can game plan around the idea that if you can get to the right yard line, Aubrey will give you a legitimate shot at 3 points, and that changes strategy significantly. Looking ahead, the Cowboys' upcoming schedule is interesting because it offers opportunities to build momentum despite the early challenges. Wins against teams like the Bears, Jets, and Panthers could establish a strong record early in the season, giving Dallas some breathing room as they navigate tougher matchups later on. Even the Packers game, while potentially challenging, is at home, and home field advantage can play a crucial role in tight contests. The Commanders' matchup may be more of a question mark, but if the Cowboys continue to play to their level of competition, there's a real chance to secure multiple victories and keep themselves in the mix for a playoff push. These games coming up are not just about wins and losses. They're about confidence, rhythm, and proving that the team can overcome adversity, especially with injuries impacting key players. Individually, the players have had standout moments that are worth highlighting. CeeDee Lamb's production over the first 2 games has been exceptional, consistently making plays in critical situations. Dak Prescott's leadership and ability to keep drives alive under pressure has been a steadying force. Jake Ferguson's emergence as a reliable target adds depth and versatility to the passing game, and Javonte Williams has been a workhorse in the running game, keeping defenses honest. On defense, Kenny Clark's impact on the line is evident in the way opposing running backs and quarterbacks are being pressured and contained. Meanwhile, the secondary has moments of brilliance, like Donovan Wilson's interception in overtime, showing that when the pieces click, they can make game-changing plays. The challenge for Dallas moving forward is maintaining consistency across all phases of the game. One of the most exciting things about watching the Cowboys this season is seeing how they respond to adversity. The early injuries, the back-and-forth games, and the high-pressure situations have tested this team already, and how they handle these obstacles will be a defining factor for the rest of the season. When a team can face challenges like losing a key offensive lineman and still put together game-winning drives or make critical defensive plays, it shows a resilience that can carry them far. There's still room for improvement, especially in the secondary and in limiting mistakes, but the foundation is there for a team that can compete at a high level if they continue to grow and adjust. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Jerry Rice, the legendary wide receiver whose name is synonymous with NFL greatness, has set off a firestorm in the football world with a statement that has left fans and insiders buzzing. In what can only be described as a shocker, Rice recently commented on the Dallas Cowboys, and the implications of his words are sending whispers through locker rooms and sports bars alike. Known for his no-nonsense approach and deep understanding of the game, Rice's opinion carries weight, and when he speaks, people listen. But this time, his words might be tipping into uncharted territory. According to sources close to the football icon, Rice did not hold back when discussing the Cowboys' current state. While the details of his comments remain partially under wraps, insiders suggest he was blunt, questioning the team's strategy, leadership, and even the way some of its star players are performing under pressure. The timing of the remark, amid speculation about roster moves and coaching changes, has only fueled the rumor mill. Fans are debating whether Rice's critique is an honest evaluation from a Hall of Famer or a subtle dig meant to shake up Dallas organization. Social media erupted almost immediately, with hashtags and threads exploding in every direction. Analysts on sports shows scrambled to dissect what Rice might have meant, replaying past Cowboys games and performances as if trying to read between the lines of his cryptic assessment. Former teammates, rivals, and even current NFL stars have weighed in, some defending the Cowboys, others suggesting Rice's words hint at deeper, unseen issues within the franchise. What makes the buzz even more potent is Rice's track record of foresight. The man who once predicted the rise of passing dynasties in the league is rarely wrong in his evaluations. So when Jerry Rice casts a shadow over a team, even obliquely, fans and pundits alike take notice. Rumors are now swirling that his comments could influence trades, draft strategies, or even coaching decisions, though nothing has been confirmed. For now, the Cowboys organization has remained tight-lipped, choosing silence over confrontation. But one thing is clear. Rice's statement has reignited debates about the team's future, and every move they make in the coming weeks will be scrutinized under the magnifying glass of his judgment. Whether it's a wake-up call, a warning, or simply the musings of a legend who speaks his mind, the NFL world cannot stop talking about Jerry Rice and the Cowboys. And as the rumor mill churns, one question lingers. What does the Hall of Famer really see when he looks at Dallas? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.